Every year in December, hundreds of neo-Nazis flock to attend an annual White Power music festival in Ukraine. Over the course of a weekend in Kiev, more than a dozen bands take to the stage, spewing hate-filled, anti-Semitic lyrics, praising Nazi figures and calling for violence. Among the crowd, white supremacist imagery, from Celtic crosses to swastikas and black suns, are displayed on t-shirts and tattoos. They've become a vital recruiting ground for hardcore extremist groups and a major income stream. In Germany alone, far-right concerts were estimated to have generated 1.4 million euros in 2018, money used to finance political material, organise events, or cover legal fees for extremists who fall foul of the law. Now, as the scene recovers from the pandemic, experts worry that the return of these concerts will give a major boost to Europe's far right. My name's Tim Hume, and I cover the far right for Vice World News. Outside Ukraine, dozens of similar events have sprung up. From major neo-Nazi festivals that draw extremists from across the continent to smaller underground gigs that act as a vital social hub for local far-right networks. There's Pro Patria in Greece, known for its MMA fights, Hot Shower in Italy, a grim reference to Hitler's gas chambers, and Rock gegen Überfremdung, or Rock Against Foreign Infiltration, attended by some of Europe's most hardcore extremists. Just like mainstream political parties meet up at dinners and speakers events, Europe's far right are using these festivals as a key networking tool, with members of different stripes looking to learn from each other and potentially plot further action.
So you can meet like-minded people, you can establish connections to other persons from the scene, and you can mobilize people who are not involved in the organized structures of the scene.
Most of these festivals take place outside public view, with cameras and cell phones banned inside.
They function as spaces in which Nazis can live out their ideology. So these are spaces where they can feel safe amongst their own, they can show the Hitler salute, which is illegal in Germany, and they can loudly voice their hateful ideology.
The music played is generally heavy rock music with neo-Nazi themes.
There's a lot of glorifying National Socialism, a lot of white supremacy.
But it's more than just a bunch of neo-Nazis getting together to make friends and have a good time.
Die einzige Möglichkeit, die wir haben, Strukturen aufzubauen, ist der kommerzielle Erfolg.
It's estimated that these festivals can bring in up to 200,000 euros, money which is then funneled back into the neo-Nazi scene.
This money goes straight back into far-right structures within Germany and beyond. So this also means training, support, logistics. All of this money is going from the far-right rock scene directly back into the organised far-right.
And aside from the cash, it's about recruitment and organisation.
I would say this is mostly the radicalised core of the far-right scene. If you look at videos and photos and people who is going to these events, these are people predominantly with openly far-right tattoos. These are people who have swastikas tattooed on them.
If you look at the audience or the visitors of these festivals, you will see very, very, very few young people. So its function is not to recruit young people. What is happening is that you can try to recruit new members for your organization, like Blood and Honor or like the Hammerskins.
Beyond the far-right rock scene, some extremists have branched into new genres to try and generate a wider audience. Far-right rap music has emerged, with rappers like Max Damage, a German neo-Nazi who's been interviewed on mainstream German radio.
Ich will einmal Vater werden und kämpfe damit, meine Kinder nicht in einem ihnen fremden Land erwachsen werden.
Chris Aries, who managed to enter the iTunes chart with tracks referencing racist concepts like The Great Replacement.
Für unser Land, wir sind der Widerstand, tragen die Fahne der Einheit und Freiheit in der Hand.
And Mr. Bombs, a mysterious figure who emerged in 2016, posting racist hip-hop covers in online forums, developing a cult following.
Mr. Bond is a separate entity, a different phenomenon. He has a more international fan base based online. He has support, for example, within the incel community or in image boards. Mr. Bond is essentially like a far-right Weird Al Yankovic, more of a parody artist that takes well-known pop songs and then subverts them with a horrible far-right message full of hatred.
Breaking news out of Germany, where at least 2 people have been killed in a shooting near a synagogue in the city of Halle. This comes on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish faith.
The cultural relevance of this music to violent extremists was highlighted in 2019 when Stefan Balliet, a heavily armed far-right terrorist, attacked a synagogue in Germany before killing a female passerby and a man at a kebab shop. Balliet live-streamed the attack and soundtracked it with a Mr. Bond song. He later said in court that the song choice was a commentary on his terror.
This is someone who was playing to an audience and playing for his own community. We often falsely talk of lone wolves and lone killers, but he was very much part of the community. Him playing this song is also a shout out to all of the people watching on image boards to sort of say, hey, I'm one of you and this is for you, this attack.
Mr. Bond remained anonymous until February 2021, when Austrian police raided his home, seizing a mixing desk, hard disks, weapons, and a military flag from the Third Reich era. It's clear that the far-right music scene is an insidious cultural weapon.
If we take a look at the last couple of years, we can say that the neo-Nazi music scene is permanently growing. So we got more and more concerts per year, with the exception throughout Corona, of course. We expect that they turn to these concerts again afterwards because it's a source of income and they're quite successful in mobilizing people from the subculture.
Free speech laws and questions over censorship make it a hard thing to regulate. And as the far-right live music scene looks to make its return after a COVID-induced hiatus, all eyes are on the authorities to find ways of dealing with this dark and twisted subculture.